New studies available on Prolific.
Earning money online through online surveys has been a suggestion that I have seen many times on top ways to earn money online lists. Yet, until very recently, I've never really tried to see how viable and worthwhile it is. Prolific is a survey hub for academic studies, which I have found to be an interesting opportunity for getting paid online, where I have now completed over 100 studies and earned nearly £100, which is around $140. Prolific works by eligible participants signing up, filling in many details about themselves, such that researchers can choose their participant pool to suit their study. I will assume that the researchers take care not to skew their results by choosing favourable participant pools. Once you've filled in all your details and connected your account to PayPal, you'll then want to sit on this tab within your Prolific account to wait for studies to become available. Prolific studies are carried out on a first come, first served basis. So when you have a slot to carry out a study and you see one pop up, you'll want to grab it there and then. A few studies linger, but most disappear rather quickly, as many participants will snap up the opportunity pretty quickly. I've seen studies with thousands of open slots, and then some studies with just one open slot. Once a study appears, you can reserve the spot, and that spot will be reserved for just 10 minutes, at which point it will be released to all the participants left in the pool, and you won't see it again if you did not start the study. Now when you see a study, it will tell you a bit about the study, the duration, and the monetary award for completing the survey. It also then calculates the effective hourly rate. If you, however, hover over these values, you will be given further information. What is visible to you without hovering is the average time and average hourly rate of the participants completing the studies. But what we see by hovering is the researcher's estimated duration and therefore estimated hourly rate. It's at this point where I wanted to share some of my experience on using the platform. I would like to focus on a 31-day period where I deliberately wanted to understand how much you could earn on the platform, and understand that I work full time, I've got chores to do, and I work on projects on the side, including YouTube. So I could have earned more if I had more time to do so. With this 31-day period from the 30th of March to the 30th of April, I earned £67.24p, which is about $95. So it might not be an amount that you'd write home about, but it still feels like a healthy amount if, for whatever reason, you need a bit of extra cash. This will cover my food bill for a week or my fuel bill for a month or so. It could serve as pub money for students perhaps. A key statistic about this 31-day period though is how much did I put in to get that amount? So how many hours? Prolific gives the ability to download a CSV file for some key information, including start and end timestamps, so I can tot up the total duration. It turns out that I spent 15.2 hours to complete all of these studies, and so that gives me an hourly rate of £4.43 or $6.29. Which is quite low. Now there are one or two things which improve this number, and fairly so that's not artificially improving this number. Completing Prolific studies will look something like this. When a study appears, you'll reserve your spot, and you could start the survey from the moment you click reserve, or for up to 10 minutes afterwards. The time that you click start now for starting your survey is the timestamp that will be recorded in the CSV file. You'll then start the survey of a defined duration, which could be 1 minute or 100 minutes or durations in between. The average participant duration during my 31-day test was 9.3 minutes, though it took me a little bit longer. You'll then complete the study and see this, where your completion code has automatically been populated, which is the point at which the CSV completion timestamps are recorded. During studies, you may take time to read large bodies of text, which can slow people down, and some studies define points at which you can take a short break. People will not take the same amount of time to do these things, and so this is what can alter your effective hourly rate. Some people may also rush through these studies, and it would be likely that the quality of data is reduced. I wouldn't recommend rushing through these. I think it is important to respect the study and do a job commensurate with the award. If these studies get abused by rushing through them, then I imagine they will just close off the participant pool to those that they can trust, or scrap it altogether if it gets such a bad name that sourcing studies based on Prolific tarnishes academic papers so much that researchers avoid the platform. I estimate that I had about 1 hour worth of break times in these studies. There were 1 or 2 long studies. This alters the hourly rate to £4.74 per hour or $6.73. An improvement, but it doesn't drastically change the outlook. Having said that, I personally perform badly in terms of speed compared to the average completion duration. If you were an average participant for duration, you'd actually have been in an hourly rate of around £7.74, or that's about $11 per hour, which is pretty good actually. And actually slightly above the Prolific recommended hourly rate, which is suggested to researchers. Researchers include attention checks to try and prevent participants randomly clicking through multiple choice options, though they may be reasonably easy to circumvent. This can mean that participants don't get their award if they fail attention checks. I'd be interested to hear if anyone watching this has had any payments rejected for any reason. I've personally not had any. All of my completed submissions have been approved. Lastly, there is an extension called Prolific Assistant, which is currently available on Chrome and Firefox, which you can use as a prompt for when new studies are available, like what you would have heard at the beginning of the video. One top tip I have for you, if you use the Prolific Assistant, is to adjust the settings, perhaps to an alert tone, and to lower the volume. I genuinely got quite a scare when I heard a stranger's voice quite loudly through my headset for the first time. The Prolific Assistant is good, but I have found sometimes that the alert lags compared to the browser, and I have at times missed surveys because of this. Worth a go though. I'm going to keep up the surveys and see where I get to, and see if I speed up to the average and see if I learn anything new which I can share with you in a future video. Perhaps sign up yourself and see how you find the platform. The platform is somewhat international, as can be seen by some of the transparent information that is shared with us. The only requirement, which seems potentially to be a problem, is the age limit of 18 and above. I don't have a referral code for Prolific, as they seem to have shut this down a couple of years ago. I'll put this on screen though if this ever changes. Thank you and see you in the next video.